Gonna be a cold one today, and I'm gonna be working in it. I think it's just rated freezing. If you can see that there. 30, a little less, like 29 degrees. Supposed to get the +1. I keep forgetting to turn my camera on to make videos here. So I'm gonna give you a quick update what's going on. I got a new snowblower, but that's not why I went to the guy's house. Let me do this one first. This Cub Cadet garden tractor here was on Facebook for 150 bucks with the deck. The deck was on. I already started. I just keep forgetting to turn my camera on for all kinds of things here. I could be making videos every week. I just either get lazy or forget about it or just get too focused on the job. So I'm going to try to do one here today. So here's a Cub Cadet 1105. That's a model from 1985-86. The used Cub Cadet should come with a 36-inch deck. This one came with a 48. Well, this one, somebody's put a 48-inch deck on it right here. It's a big deck, and the guy said he bought it for a project and never worked on it at all. He's in a nice residential area, but he doesn't need it for his yard because he's just got a small little yard. Couldn't even get that in his backyard. And he said, I don't think he even tried to fire the thing up even. But he said the previous owner said it wouldn't work. You engage the deck and the thing stalls out. So I got it home here, charged it. There's a battery. I got the battery in there on charger. But I charged it up and it poured some gas down the carburetor, fired right up, ran perfect. Put it in gear, the gears work, everything works there. I went to engage the mower deck. It's got an electric clutch. This one here is the electric clutch. And as soon as I engaged that, boom, just killed the engine. So I knew something seized up. That's why I pulled the deck off. I got so many projects. Oh my God. So I before I pulled the deck off, I went to try to turn some of the pulleys. That one turns. This one's seized solid, and I think this one is too. And who knows about the other? So I got to pull that apart, replace some bearings in there, get that going. The blades look good on it still. They're not worn out. So I got that for 150 bucks. And I already ordered some parts for it. I ordered the shop manual for $13 or 14 bucks. And that's coming in. And I ordered this is the throttle. I ordered the throttle knob here. I probably could have made one, but I just ordered one for $8-9 bucks. And I ordered a parts manual for 15 bucks. Shifter knob's missing, but I'll make one there. And then I'll change the oil and filter. The battery box is missing. It's got an oversized battery in here, but I'm just going to leave that for now. And I might get the original. There's one original one on eBay right now. I might buy it, but first I'll get it all up and running first. So then when I went to buy that, the guy said, do you need a snowblower? And I go, not really, because I had that great big Craftsman here for years. I rebuilt it like 4 years ago. It had a blowing rod and punctured a hole through the cases. I got videos on that, and it was a Tecumseh engine, and it blew a hole through the case about that freaking big. And I just epoxied that all back together, put a new connecting rod in, polished the crankshaft, and that thing's been running for me for now, like this is the third, fourth year. 4 years I've had that one. So he said, well, I got this snowblower. He said, come around back and look at the snowblower. And I said, well, I really got one. I don't really need one. I said, well, what do you want for it? And he goes, well, $25. This thing's brand new. He said he got it off the neighbor next door. Look at the inside. Like none of the paint's worn off on the blade or the inside of the tunnel. So it's I don't think it's been used. He said it was an old man that lived next door to him, and I think he moved into an apartment, and it was on like closing day, and the guy couldn't get rid of it or sell it, so he sold it to his neighbor for $25. But the guy said, I think he said he turned the fuel on, it was leaking out the carburetor, so he just left. It's been in his garage for 2 years, And so he never worked on it again. So I said, okay, for $25, I'll take that. So then I sold my old one for $30 to a friend. So I made a $5 profit. And actually I had sold them for $50, but I felt guilty. So I said, here, here's 20 back. So this one, yesterday, I thought, well, I'll just check this thing out because it's supposed to snow here tomorrow. So I opened up this gas in there, I smell it, doesn't smell too bad. And I turn the choke on, put the throttle up, give this a couple pumps. First pull. Start up, first pull. Just like that. And then, like he said, the gas was leaking out of the car, but I didn't see it leaking at all. So I just got it warmed up. And then I shut the fuel off here and then just let it run. Just let it run for like 4 or 5 minutes until it sucks all the fuel out of the float bowl. Then often that'll suck any dirt out of there, you know, or clean out the needle and seat, and I don't know, starts first pull for me. It's got that speed stick in here, quick shift for this thing, which is really slick. And I put it in gear, everything works fine there. It's actually a really fast first gear, so second gear must be really fast. The 2-stage auger works, so everything's good there. So that was a good deal. Okay, let me end this for now. So, this thing stood up here. Can't find my camera stand. So, my truck, I think I mentioned in my last video there, I bought a fuel pump. For that Chevy Avalanche 2012 5.3 liter. I bought that fuel pump at least 2 months ago, probably 3 months ago. And because what was happening, and the same thing is happening on my son's Suburban. He's got a 2008 Suburban 5.3 liter. If you shut the truck off for a long period of time or overnight, you go to start it in the morning and the starter keeps on engaging because it's not getting fuel into the injectors, and so it'll turn over for 3 or 4, sometimes 5 seconds, and then it'll shut off. Then you turn it the next time and it fires right up. So the fuel is back feeding into the tank. The check valve in the fuel pump is leaking or screwed up, or a piece of dirt in it or something, rusted out, I don't know. And so every once in a while you go to start it and it doesn't start, and it's fuel. Because as soon as you shut it off, you turn back up, it fires right up again. But now what's happening with my truck is I smell gas. I start smelling gas about, I started smelling gas the day before. I filled it to the brim. Because gas was on sale, so I filled it right to the brim. I started smelling gas. And then I thought, oh, maybe I overfilled it, you know, and slopped down the tank. And so then I drove it another day or so, and now I could really smell gas. And I looked under the tank, everything looked dry there. I didn't see anything leaking. So I drove it for a few more days, another week, and then I looked under a couple times. I didn't see any gas leaking. And then my son came over, I think it was before Christmas there, and he said, hey, there's gas leaking under your truck there. Then I went out there and looked, and sure enough it was leaking. I just got home. So I thought, well, I got a full tank of gas in here. And you can't replace the fuel pump with a full tank of gas. You have to get it down to a quarter tank or less. So I've been driving it for the last week, 2 weeks, week and a half, and it's getting worse and worse every day, starting to get a puddle. So I'm putting a mat under the truck every time I pull to the driveway, and trying to soak it up a little bit. It only leaks, the only gas that's leaking is the gas that's dripping out of the line that I see. If I'm sitting there with the truck running, sure, there's going to be spraying a little bit under there and leaking a little bit, I'm sure. So I've been running. I'm down to a quarter of a tank in it now. Today's Saturday, and I got the fuel pump. It's right around freezing outside. It's supposed to get up to +1. Yeah, balmy +1. So that'll be perfect for working in, especially when the plastic lines are brittle and all that. So it's a dirty job. It's a dirty fucking job. And so I'm just going to do it in stages. The first stage is getting my truck, the back end jacked up, secure. I'm on an asphalt driveway. Luckily it's winter time, so maybe the jacks won't sink into the asphalt like they do in the summertime, but I got to put a piece of plywood or something under the jack stands and the jack, because otherwise the sharpness of the metal frame on the jack stands will sink into the asphalt. Did that before. I got a couple holes in my driveway now that I tried to patch. So well, I had to go get some cardboard, big chunks of cardboard from the bicycle shop around the corner here. So I got something to slide underneath there on my back on the driveway. And then I went and got some heavy duty jack stands. And then I got some square laminate flooring that's really heavy duty. I'm gonna use that for the jack. This is gonna be over an hour just getting this set up, jacked up, wheels cocked and chalked, and before I'm even gonna start. So that's where I'm at right now. And I'll show you that outside. This one does come with a new O-ring. It does come with a new float. Sometimes you gotta take the float off the old one. And this is a Delphi one. Yeah, Delphi Technologies. I got it on eBay. You can. I forgot what the prices are now. I think I paid around $200 for this, or $180. It was a pretty good deal because I think they're around $280. In Canada, they're over $300. They're pretty pricey. But anyways, I know I got a good deal on that. I gotta wear my toque today because it's freaking cold. So there's my truck. Let's see if anything's dripping. Yeah, you can probably smell that right through your computer screen. See the drips coming down there? There, you get a little better there. That's gasoline. There, it just dripped right when I was saying that. I got this ceiling tile down here. It's like cork, so it'll suck that all up. I just want to get it jacked up for now. Let this drip dry. And then start disconnecting stuff on. Look at that, just drip, drip. But one thing I did when I was undercoating this truck here, when I was doing some body work on it, was I sprayed some anti-seize on the straps, on the tank straps. Where's my hand? Right up here, eh? Tank strap, on the bolts, on both sides with penetrating oil and lubricant. Now that was probably 2 months ago anyways. 2-3 months ago, yeah. So hopefully those will come undone okay. And that's what I'm gonna be starting on today, and it's gonna be cold. Okay, step one, get her jacked up. Hopefully I got it up high enough. It's just a couple inches higher. 2 jack stands and my jack there. I'm not really secure about that one on the right, but I'm not sure about that one. And then the second step, disconnect the battery, 10mm clamp on there. So I think I can shut this. South is that way. Going the wrong way. The whole world's fucked up. Okay, that's it for now. That thing's still dripping down there. I guess gonna let it drip for a half hour and blow dry, because it's draining the line all the way from the injectors. That's why I'm not even going to bleed it. There's a little valve up in here on the fuel rail that I could push down, and it's like a bicycle valve, a Schrader valve. But I don't have to because the gas is just all leaking out there. So I'll let that drain, and then I'll just see if I can loosen the strap bolts a little bit just to make sure they're going to move, and then I'll start unhooking all the clamps everywhere. There's like 6. That's it for right now. Here's our amount so far. That's the front of the truck. There's the back tire. Back of the tank. I'm going to the back of the tank here. Hasn't really warmed up yet. Okay, now looking straight up from the back of the tank. This is the vent hose that goes up to the filler cap. I think also if you overfill it, it goes back into here. There's the main filler tube. That's the hardest thing to get off right there. And here's your charcoal box right back here. There's 2 fittings here. The top one's got the red clips on it. You got to push the red clip in. This one here just got a screwdriver, pried out the little prongs a little bit, and it popped right off. This is the hard one. I've been putting a screwdriver under the edge, lifting it up, squirting some penetrating fluid, trying to wiggle it around, stick the screwdriver in here, penetrating fluid, top, bottom, all the way around. I've got it lubricated all the way around about to here, and it still doesn't turn. I've tried pliers on it, but it's getting close. So now I got my big screwdriver. I'm just going to try to pry it up. I got to break the seal. I guess this is the hardest pipe to get off. There's 2 more connectors, fuel lines at the front of this tank. I've done it before in the past without unconnecting them, because there's a clip on top of it. When I drop the tank down, there's a clip on top of the tank that holds those 2 hoses down. Where am I pointing? I'm pointing at the tank right here. Should be pointing up here. There's 2 more connectors like that. There's another vent on top of the tank that goes over the cross member here somewhere. Anyways, I'll let you know how I make out. Okay, I got the back fuel tank bolt off. You can see it right up there, I hope. Goes in right up there. Light in the right direction, I don't know. Right there, I guess. Yeah, right up in that hole there. That bolt goes right through that hole. Right up there. Right up in there. I got that one out, turned it out by hand the whole way. You can see it was rusted. And this one, right here, this strap, the front one, closest to the engine. I was turning it by hand halfway, and I thought, okay, I'll put my electric impact gun on it, even though there's gas around it. It came out a ways, and then the nut on the top of the frame that's tacked to the frame came undone, so now I'm fucked. Let me see if I can hold this here. You can see I got playing here now, but the nut's broken off on the top in the frame, so now I can't get it done. I can't put my grinding wheel on that. I can't have sparks. Still wet from gas around here, so I don't know. There's some way I could get something over top of the frame. It's so awkward here, man. It's so awkward. Let's see. Oh, I can't even get my hand over. No, there's a big hose up there. I can't even get my hand over there. I gotta cut that off somehow. I can't even get my hacksaw in there on the angle. I think I'm gonna have to try to use my Sawzall and spray it all down with water. No sparks. Too bad I got that far, that close. Ready to drop this tank down. There's still one vent hose attached on the top, but I got to drop the tank down a bit to get at it. I got to think on this. Got the tank out. I am just snapping these off. Oh, this one had tension on it. It's still under the truck there. Snapping off. Now I got to try to get those out, which are sometimes really difficult. So hopefully I can. I think I'll be able to reuse that ring if it comes off all right. And what was the other thing? Oh, I had to cut this with a Sawzall. So I need the rear bracket. They're different size. The front one's short and the rear one's long. So I need a front one. So I'll call and see if I can get one of them. They usually got those things in stock. I could weld that together, put a plate over it and weld it back together. I still got to cut the piece off underneath there. I think it's starting to snow a little bit. That's how cold, yeah, little snowflakes. That's how cold it is. Airport just over there. Little Cessna. Yeah, and here comes the snow. Probably can't see it in the camera too well there, but it's just starting to snow out. And I'm not going to get this back in until tomorrow. So I think I'll work on this, try to get this out, get the new one in. Actually, there's still 6 gallons of gas left in there. There's over a quarter of a tank, so I'd like to pump that out. Maybe I'll put this thing up on the bank and siphon it out. But all my 5-gallon cans are full. It'll make it so much easier to get it back in. Okay, I gotta figure that out. Snowing out. I'm trying to siphon out all the gas. There was about 6 gallons in there. I had 2 little 1-gallon gas cans going. I got 2 5-gallons, but they're already full. So I've been using the 1-gallon ones to fill up the tractor, fill up the snowblower. I could only squeeze 1 more gallon in that thing there. I just filled it up the other day and I drove to town and back and couldn't even put in a full gallon. So I think this is the last one. This is probably 5 gallons I've taken out, maybe 6. Because I want to get the, it's snowing out like crazy, so I want to get the sending unit and the pump put back in there, sealed all up for tonight. And in case we get a lot of snow. And then I'm going to have to stick that in there tomorrow in the snowstorm. If I get that in tonight, I still got to cut that bracket off, that bolt. And I'm going to go to the States and get another fuel tank bracket. Oh, it's just this is a halfway point. This is the hardest point. The hardest stuff is done. Just a matter of putting it back together now. It's hard to get the tank back in though. It sits on the lip here, so you got to get that in first. Put it in that way forward, and pull it back and up, and then jack the front up, and get the clamps on. But at the same time, you got to hook stuff up as you're doing it. As the tank's halfway up, you got to hook the connectors to it, the electrical connections. Okay, that's it for now. Sunday morning, and what's that say today? Yeah, it's still about the same, 30 degrees. It snowed last night. It's kind of melting now. My driveway was all white, but it's already melted. Just got to cut that one bolt off and take that flange, and I'm going to weld it to the strap. I'm going to weld that strap back together because the new one now, it's $57 for one, which is ridiculous. I remember buying them before for like $18, $20. I would have just bought one and bolted it on, but for $57 American, I'm going to fix that one. And then I'm ready to put the tank back in. I got the rusted pieces of metal out of each of the spigots there. That was pretty tricky, and soaking it and picking it and pulling it out, but I had a little trick to get them out. Okay, I'll be out shortly. going in for something to drink. There's the tank strap. Was in good shape until I had to cut it out. So I'm gonna weld that back on there. And that should be all right. I'll see how good of a weld I can get on it. If not, I've got another plate. I can put another plate in here and weld it in, but I'll cut back this rubber, grind this all down, clean it all up, get it ready for welding. Okay, got her welded back on. I don't need to put another plate in there. This is so thin here that my weld is way stronger than this. I put some pliers on it, bent it, and this whole thing's bending, so it's a sloppy weld. I sprayed some undercoating on it a little bit. I should spray some on that end too, because I ground that down for the ground for the welder. Yeah, I gotta spray some more on there. Okay, I'm ready to slide the tank under. Got the tank all back in, a little help from my son. Just kind of tricky positioning it. Just hooking the battery back up. I think that should be it. Oil should be good. Haven't checked it in a while. Okay, I poured 1 gallon of gas in it. Let's see what the fuel gauge says here. Yeah, she says she's empty. Moved a little bit. I'm turning the key on to prime it. Turn it off. Turn it on again. All lights are off. Possible ice. Usually tells me the temperature there. Yeah, fuel level's low, very low. +1 degrees. I might pour 1 more gallon in, then go to the gas station. Okay, I think that's it. I'll take her for a test drive. Shouldn't be any leaks, man. They're all snap connectors. That should be it. Okay for now. Got her all back together. Took her for a test drive. Put $100 in gas in it, which is 3/4 of a tank. Still could take more. Now I gotta just clean up my bench here. I already put away a lot of the shit. But it needs cleaning up. So I think the next one is to get back on this bike here for this guy. There. And at the same time, I'm going to be working on that Cub Cadet. I got the wheel off it down here. It had a flat. So I got some tubes coming in and some parts. And I'm going to start taking apart the deck on that and replace the bearings. Those are pretty easy, but to work on. And a lot of people scrap their lawnmowers when those bearings go. Easy to change, so I'm going to do a video on that. Yeah, that's it for now. I think today is January 7th, maybe, around there, I think. Sunday. So, and I've been doing some renos too on the side, so I've been busy with that the last month or two. I had to get that done for this guy. He's doing a big reno. Okay, that's it. See you in a week or two.